Jacob Hoggard, who is a former Hedley frontman, has been on trial for sexual assault. Hoggard, age 37, has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of sexual assault causing bodily harm and 1 of sexual interference, a charge that relates to the sexual touching of somebody under 16. If you've just joined, say hello, drop a comment, say hi. We don't bite over here, and we accept all opinion. Well, most opinions. If it's about hate and derogatory comments, not accepted. So, just saying. Prosecutors allege the Hedley frontman violently and repeatedly raped a teenage fan and a young Ottawa woman in Toronto area hotel rooms in separate incidents in the fall of 2016. They also allege he groped the teen backstage after a Hedley show in Toronto in April 2016 when she was 15. The Crown has highlighted several similarities in the accounts delivered by the complainants, 2 women who have never met or spoken to each other. Among those similarities are allegations that Hoggard spat on them, slapped them, and called them derogatory names such as slut and whore during the encounters. Prosecutors say jurors should consider the similarities as indicating a pattern of behavior. Defense lawyers allege the groping never happened and the sexual encounters were consensual. The alleged complainants lied about being raped to cover up their embarrassment after being rejected by a rock star. The defense also says any similarities between the complainants' accounts can be attributed to Hoggard's lifestyle at the time. In his testimony last week, Hoggard said he did not have detailed memories of the encounters with the complainants, but that he was certain they consented based on their verbal and nonverbal cues. He told the court he did not remember spitting, slapping, or calling the complainants names, but that those things could have happened since they were among his sexual preferences. As part of their questions to the court Tuesday evening, juries also asked whether sex is considered consensual. So the trial is done and deliberation has started. Jurors also asked whether sex is considered consensual if someone doesn't say no, but also doesn't say yes. Citing a ruling from the Court of Appeal for Ontario, Roberts told them consent in the context of a sexual assault case is about whether the complainant in her mind wanted the sexual touching to take place. Hold on. So the jury asked whether sex is considered consensual if someone doesn't say no, but they also didn't say yes. And there's a ruling on the books from the Court of Appeal for Ontario that states that consent in the context of a sexual assault case is about whether the complainant in her mind wanted the sexual touching to take place. So if someone is thinking that they don't want to have sex with someone while having sex with someone but did not verbalize that they don't want to have sex with that person, I don't understand. Because then how is the how is a person supposed to know you did not want sex if you did not verbalize that you did not want sex? If it's in your mind and not verbalized, how will they know that you didn't want sex? I understand that. Jurors in the sexual assault trial of Canadian musician Jacob Hoggard also were told that his celebrity status did not put him in a position of power over the 2 complainants. They also sought clarity from the courthouse hours later on what constitutes a relationship of authority for the purpose of establishing consent to sexual activity. They also ask what constitutes fraud when it comes to consent, and whether consent is still valid if it is based on that person's belief in a lie about love. See, all kind of different things that come out of this from here, you know? Because this is a, if in your mind you don't want to have sex, technically that means you have not given consent to have sex. That's one thing. Two, they're talking about establishing who has the power in a relationship. So in this essence, who basically has the power? So it would almost seem as if Jacob had the power because he's a celebrity, he's the older person. And then they want to know what constitutes fraud, and whether the fraud is based on a lie that he told about love. So if him tell them say him love them to have sex with them, but knowing that he lied about being in love with them to have sex with them. But then how can you believe somebody love you when you just, you know them, you know nothing with them, and you just meet them and they will tell us that them love you but because they want to have sex with them? I mean, I understand this is all confusing. This is all confusing. Hoggard was also charged in March with sexual assault causing bodily harm against another complainant in an incident alleged to have taken place in Kirkland Lake, Ontario on July 25th, 2016. This is a whole separate charge other than the ones that he's presently in court for right now. The case was briefly before a court in nearby Hedley, Ontario last Thursday, and is set to begin on August 4th. So even when this trial finishes, he have another case coming up in August. Hoggard's lawyer Megan Savard said Tuesday her client is innocent and denies a new allegation and that he will plead not guilty. She declined to comment further as the case is before the courts. Okay, so earlier today it was reported that the jury is deadlocked on some of the counts. That means they don't have a majority vote on some of the counts, so that they can't come back with a verdict. They've been deliberating since Tuesday afternoon, and they came back today to state that they're deadlocked on some issues, and the judge asked them that the judge told them that they need to continue to try to come to a unanimous verdict on all the counts. So if they're still deadlocked, that means they are going to have to continue to, if they're deadlocked and can't reach a verdict, they're going to have to do a trial all over again. So fingers crossed that they'll come to a verdict one way or another, because each party needs to move on with their life. He needs to move on, whether it's to prison or whatever penalties he'll face, and the plaintiffs, the girls that are the victims, the alleged victims in this case, need to move on with their life and get past this. So yeah.